Ladies and gentlemen.
You're starting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Doi. Hi, everybody. Let's start that again.
I thought that was kind of funny. I love when we screw up. It makes us human.
Oh, fine. Okay, welcome to What the Flick. Christy, Lemire, Matt Atchity, Alonso, Duralde. The Place Beyond the Pines. The latest film from director Cianfrance?
Derek
Cianfrance, the guy who made Blue Valentine.
Dr. Manfred
Cock toasted. So the word Schenectady in Iroquois means place beyond the pines. Are you aware of that?
I did not know that.
That's why they call it that. It's the place beyond the pines. So this is a story told in triptych. It's very fancy. The first one is about Ryan Gosling does this young Brando thing as this young and tormented motorcycle stunt driver. He has this infant son he had no idea he ever had with Eva Mendes, who is the diner waitress with a heart of gold. And that is one segment. He goes to robbing banks to support this son he never knew he had. In a very pivotal moment, his path crosses with Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper plays a young rookie cop in Schenectady. And then the second part follows his story, and the third part follows both of their teenage sons 15 years ago who fall into an ill-advised friendship. Take a look.
Who's that guy?
He's yours.
I wasn't around my dad, looked the way I turned out.
I can't think of another line of work that I'd rather be in.
All right, everybody who wants to live, put your hands in the fire.
So this is very brooding and very intense and very self-serious, but it's very long.
It's weird, you know, it's long, but it's also not long enough for what it wants to be. Because this movie, it's sort of like, it's that feeling of when they try to cram a 4-hour miniseries into a 90-minute time slot and they just hack away at everything but sort of the most basic plot points. You get the impression that they're setting this up like when you're reading a novel, a generational novel, and the sins of the fathers are delivered unto the sons, You really need time and air to kind of set that thing up. And here they have these big ambitions for what this story is supposed to be, but then it just feels like they're running through it and giving you just the Cliff Notes version.
Right, and the characters aren't drawn very well, not very thoroughly, right? So as you say, they're inflicting all these important emotions onto them.
Right.
And these catastrophic notions about destiny and how you can't escape your past or whatever, but never really seems to matter because it's all very studied and very mannered and a lot of posturing, and Ryan Gosling just kind of chain smokes and broods, and Bradley Cooper has this whole conscience tormenting thing with these dirty cops, and even the kids, like they're just sort of types and not very, very well drawn. So we're supposed to feel like, oh my God, this horrible sense of like their fate is hanging over them, and yet it's telling us that without it actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I sort of admire his ambitions, but I think like this should have been something else. Like this should have been like 2 movies or almost, you know, or something. Because I think you really kind of get the sensation he bit off more than he could chew as far as, you know, when you look at Blue Valentine, that's so concentrated and so
it's just the 2 of them mostly.
Yeah, so specific and focused. And I mean, I didn't love that movie, but I think it's more effective than this one in terms of like, here's these people, here's what they're about and what they're going through and why they're going through it and what about their specific personalities is putting them in this place in life. And this movie just feels more like this kind of puppet show of, you know, things. And then there's the whole issue of you've got 3 of the most attractive people on the planet right now.
Oh, yes.
Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes, and Bradley Cooper. And this movie tries so hard to frump them up and make them look, you know, sort of kind of working class, impoverished, dumpy, you know, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, Bradley Cooper eventually gets to look like the Bradley Cooper that we know.
Yes, he becomes like a politician and whatever, but early on they give him, he's got like the unflattering haircut and like the worst sportswear ever, you know, and like Ryan Gosling has these shitty homemade tattoos and like pajama pants.
Right. And one of them is like a dagger with a drop of blood that's meant to look like a teardrop.
Right. You know, Eva Mendes, they've got like circles under her eyes, and it's like, you know.
And acid wash jeans.
Yes.
It's the 90s.
Yes,
it's the 90s.
Yes. It's this weird period where, like, you know, I think in the early days of cinema, you know, we just expected the movie stars were gorgeous and they were going to look like movie stars no matter what. You know, they might have like a smudge, but beyond that, we just expected them to be glamorous because that's what we paid them to do. And then you have the sort of period where, oh, look, somebody who looks like Dustin Hoffman can now be a movie star because we're going for this gritty new realism. And now I think we've kind of circled back in a way where we want our movie stars to be glamorous, but then if they're going to do movies like this one where they're playing like gritty, you know, downtrodden characters, they then have to do this crazy makeup thing, and I don't know.
You're Charlize Theron in Monster, or you're Halle Berry in Monsters Ball.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go back to Blue Valentine really fast. I found that heartbreaking because the details were so vivid.
Sure.
And it's so sad watching the slow crumbling of their marriage, and you know they love each other, but they're just too divergent at this point. There's never anything that vivid in this film. I mean, yes, it's in the details and in the clothing, but that's just what's on top of them.
Right.
It's not, you know, who they actually are. Real fast, Ben Mendelsohn is pretty good in this as the creepy mechanic who takes Ryan Gosling under his wing and gives him a job and gives him the idea to start robbing banks.
Right.
You never quite know what his motives are.
And Dane DeHaan, you know, the interesting young actor right now, I think, as the son of Gosling and Mendes, you know, years later. But this movie, you know, they are at the service of a movie that isn't working.
Yeah, no, I too admire its ambition, but it never quite gets where it wants to be. So numbers, please.
You know,
you're high on this.
I am high. I'm higher than I thought I was going to be, just because I think that I give it its points for trying. I guess is what it boils down to. So I give it a 6.7.
I say a 6. Our average is 6.4, but go ahead.
I have no score. I thought we were going to review Ben's Baby.
It's embargoed.
She's very pretty, I'm sure. So yeah, our average is 74%. No, our average is 6.4, but 74% on
the tomato meter.
Yes, it's high. So critics are really liking this.
Yeah.
What do we not see? Are we shallow?
I don't know. I think we're too demanding.
Bye. See you later. Bye.